many other related things about heart in the last few classes, like pulse, blood pressure, and other things. And today we will see what is cardiac fitness, or what do you mean by a healthy heart. That is the meaning of the word cardiac fitness. So, cardiac fitness, the definition itself is you can read. The ability of the heart and lungs to supply oxygen rich blood to working muscle tissue. The first sentence is that it is an ability of the heart, and there are two organs are involved. One is heart and second one is the lungs. Both heart and lungs are closely related. If there is one problem with the working of the heart, that can affect the working of the lungs also. That is why both these organs are very closely related. If the heart is not pumping blood, sufficient amount of blood may not be reaching the lungs. In that case also, lungs may not be able to work properly. So the heart and lungs are actually working together. So it is the ability of the heart and lungs to supply oxygen rich blood. What is the main function of lungs? The main function of the lungs is to oxygenate the blood. When the blood is reaching the lungs from the heart, because of the presence of direct connection of lungs with the atmospheric air, then the atmospheric air that is reaching the lungs will be able to diffuse into the blood. And that process is what is known by the name oxygenation of the blood. So main function that is taking place in the lungs is actually oxygenation. If there is some kind of problem affecting the heart, enough amount of blood may not be reaching the lungs. In that case also, enough amount of blood may not be oxygenated, and sufficient amount of oxygenated blood will not be reaching to the various parts of the body. So that is the explanation of that. It is the ability of the heart and lungs to supply oxygen rich blood to working muscle tissue, because for the working of muscle tissue they need plenty of oxygen, because muscle tissues are working with the help of a molecule known by the ATP. And during the muscular activity, energy is needed for muscle contraction, and that energy is provided by ATP. So for ATP, they require oxygen. So it only if sufficient amount of oxygen is reaching the muscle tissue, they will be able to perform normally. So that is the meaning of all this sentence. It is the ability of the heart and lungs to supply oxygen-rich blood to working muscle tissue. And second part is that ability of the muscles to use oxygen. There is another more element. The first part is that heart should be working properly. Second part says that lungs should be working properly. Third aspect says that there should be sufficient oxygenation taking place in the blood, in the lungs. And the fourth is saying that this oxygenated blood, oxygen should be reaching the muscle. And the fifth part is saying that muscle should be able to utilize this oxygen properly. Only if these five things are working in a coordinated manner, the heart there will be we can call there is fit. The heart is fit. If any problem occurs in any of these organs, for example, a sufficient amount of oxygen is reaching the heart muscle, but the heart muscle is not able to utilize that oxygen properly, then what will be the effect? The heart muscle may not be performing normally, and that can result in heart attack or other kind of cardiac problem. So cardiac fitness involves lot of related things. The heart should be working normally, lungs should be working normally, muscle should be working normally, the flow of blood through the blood vessel should be normal. Only all these things are taking place in a very smooth, coordinated manner. There will be a fitness in the heart. So this is the meaning of the cardiovascular. Cardio means only affecting heart. Vascular means affecting blood vessel. So cardiovascular, that is a general term, cardiovascular fitness. Cardiovascular fitness is actually the fitness of the heart as well as fitness of the blood vessel. So in order to have a fit heart and fit blood vessel, the body have to make sure that several organs in the body or several parts in the body should be working properly. So this type of fitness is a health related component of physical fitness that is brought about by sustained physical activity. For example, when we are walking, when we are doing some kind of exercise, any kind of exercise, what is the ultimate effect of that exercise? That exercise is improving the efficiency of our body. For example, if a car or a bus is not working for several months, what will happen to engine? It may not be working properly. The same thing happens with the human body. If we are not getting sufficient amount of human body, because human body is basically designed as an animal who has to walk, run, jump, all things. And when there is no walking, when there is no running, and when there is no jumping, what will be the effect? That can affect the performance of your muscle. And when muscles are not able to utilize oxygen properly, that will ultimately affect the fitness of your heart, the fitness of the heart and the blood vessel. So that is the problem. So physical activity can improve the fitness. Then a person's ability to deliver oxygen to working muscle is affected by many physiological parameters. For example, what are the factors that improve the efficiency of the heart as well as efficiency of the lungs and as well as efficiency of the blood vessel? These are the things. For example, these are the factors which are controlling the efficiency. For example, heart rate. You know what is the meaning of the word heart rate? Number of times the heart is beating. That is known as the heart rate. Another thing is the stroke volume. How much amount of blood is pumped from ventricle to the aorta or into the blood vessel? In every time the heart is beating once or during every contraction, how much amount of blood is pumped from heart to the blood vessel? That is the meaning of the word stroke volume. And there is the cardiac output that is also related to stroke volume. The amount of blood that is produced, that is pumped from the heart, and the maximal oxygen consumption. How much amount of oxygen the body, muscles, and tissues are able to utilize in a particular, for example, in 1 hour? How much amount of oxygen body, muscles, and tissues are capable of using? That is the meaning of the minimal maximal oxygen content. So the ability to deliver oxygen to the working muscle is actually controlled by amount of blood supplied from the heart, amount of oxygen reaching the lungs. So all these will be determining the efficiency of the body, muscles, and tissues to utilize oxygen. Then, as aerobic and anaerobic capacity increases, the general metabolism rises. What is the general metabolism? What is aerobic and anaerobic activity? There are two types of activity. One type of respiration is done by is needing oxygen. A respiration or activity that needs oxygen or that can take place only in presence of oxygen is known as aerobic activity. Similarly, there is an opposite activity known as anaerobic activity. For example, certain bacteria which are living in our stomach, they don't need any oxygen. Even without oxygen, they can survive. And there are some muscles also. There are some areas also where there is no. For example, sometimes when you are running, our leg muscles are capable of anaerobic respiration. So even without oxygen, it can work. But anaerobic respiration produces lactic acid. That is why when we are running for some time, after some time when we are resting, we feel pain on the legs because of the presence of lactic acid. Only when lactic acid is gradually converted into carbon dioxide and water, the pain or ache on the leg will be over. So that is what is happening during anaerobic respiration. So basically, we have aerobic respiration as well as anaerobic respiration. And when as aerobic or anaerobic capacity increases, what is general metabolism? The total activity of the body. That is the meaning of the word general metabolism. That will be increasing. The muscle metabolism. Muscle metabolism is the utilization of the oxygen and inside the muscle. How the ATP is converted into ADP and produce energy. These are all part of the muscle metabolism. Another point is hemoglobin rises. You know what is hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is the main pigment that is responsible for carrying oxygen. If your body doesn't have sufficient amount of hemoglobin, sometimes when you go to doctor, they will check your hemoglobin and say you have only 11. Your hemoglobin is only 11, and doctor may say that it is not sufficient. As a girl, you have to have 12 or 13. As a boy, you may have a little more than 13. Then you have they will doctor may be prescribing asking you to consume on iron rich food substance or give you some tonic which is rich in iron. So as the hemoglobin in our body increases, your ability of the body to carry oxygen also increases. Because without hemoglobin, the blood can may not be able to carry oxygen. So that is another part. As anaerobic and aerobic capacity increases, the overall efficiency of your body increases, your muscle performance of your muscle will be increases, the hemoglobin will be able to carry more amount of oxygen. Then buffers in the blood. Buffers in the bloodstream actually means there are certain proteins in your blood, and that purpose of those proteins is that they can neutralize an increase in either increase in acidity or increase in alkalinity of blood. So that is a function of this kind of protein, and they are known as the buffers. And venous return. What is meaning venous return? Amount of blood reaching back the heart through the veins. There are two major veins: superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. All the blood that is reaching the various parts of the body has to finally reach the heart, and that bringing back all the blood to the heart is actually conducted by the veins or venous system. So how much amount of veins are how much amount of blood is able to return to the heart through the veins, that is the venous return. So that when the efficiency of the venous return is increasing, the heart is able to pump more amount of blood. For example, heart is pumping 5 liters of blood, but only 3 liters of blood is coming back to heart again. What will be the problem? Heart may not be able to pump sufficient amount of the blood next time. So only 5 liters of blood is pumped. That 5 liters of the blood has to come back to the heart again. So then only the venous return is working in a perfect. So then stroke volume, that is amount of blood that can be supplied from heart, pumped from the heart to the blood vessel. That is a stroke volume. The blood bed becomes more able to adapt to varying demands. So only when so that when the physical activity increases, as a result of the physical activity, lot of other activities in your body also increases. So that will be increasing your metabolism. That will be able to increase the utilization of oxygen and by the body, by various tissues and cells in your body. That is why when you are working, when an engine is working smoothly, the mileage of the vehicle will be perfect, will be at the optimum maximum rate. Similarly, when we have sufficient amount of exercise, sufficient amount of physical activity, walking, running, jumping, or other kind of physical activity, that improves the ability of your body to utilize oxygen. When a body has a better ability to utilize oxygen, that will ultimately increase the performance of your body, and body remains fit. So that is what is happening. If you are not doing this, body may not be fit. If the body is not fit, what happens? Some parts of your body may look bulky, or the fat deposition on your body may increase. So each of these results of cardiovascular fitness or cardiorespiratory conditioning will have a direct positive effect on the muscular endurance. Muscular and then an indirect effect on the strength and flexibility. That is, when we are having a better heart and lung coordination, when the overall working of the heart and muscles are improved, that will be increasing. A muscle endurance means, for example, if you are taking, for example, you are taking a 100-meter run today, but after fun, sometime you may feel totally tired. But if you are doing that daily you are carrying out 100 minutes of run. And then after 1 or 2 weeks, you may be able to do that activity more easily. Because what happens, your ability of your muscle gradually increases. With the practice, with the training, the muscle will be able to perform smoothly even if you are performing a major physical activity. That is the meaning of the muscular endurance. That indirect effect on that is strength of the muscle will also increase. That is why sports people are taking daily exercise. Only if they are carrying out daily exercise, the strength of the muscle will be increasing. So that is the meaning of all this sentence. Then to facilitate optimum delivery of oxygen to the working muscle, person needs to train or participate in activity that will build up energy stores needed for the sports. And this is known as a metabolic training. What is the meaning of that? For example, if a sports person or a person involved in any kind of physical activity will have, for example, people in military, people are doing sports, all they are all are involved in a lot of physical activity, and they are conducting daily physical exercise. Some kind of physical exercise they will be carrying out daily. What is the intention? What is the purpose of that? Only if they are carrying out daily physical exercise, their muscle remains fit. Their muscle can remain stronger for a longer period. Otherwise, what will happen after some time? Muscle become weak, and we may not be feel tired, and we won't be able to do anything. So this is known as the metabolic training, and this is what sports people, the people working in army and other kind of defense person are doing. They are increasing their metabolic training. So then metabolic training is generally divided into two types. One is aerobic training and anaerobic. A study demonstrated that physical activity intervention are effective for increasing the cardiovascular fitness. That is, when we are involved in some kind of physical activity, it will gradually improves the performance of your heart, and your overall physical fitness increases. So this is a very important thing. If you are physically fit, your body is strong, your immune system is strong, and the many kind of diseases may not be attacking you. But if you are weak, your immune system will be also weak. So in a physically strong body, a strong immune system always exists. The body is weak, the immune system will be also weak. So these are the close relationship between physical strength, immune system, and other kinds of things. The cardiovascular fitness is expressed as VO2 max. That is how the formula that is showing the cardiovascular fitness. The maximum volume of oxygen you can take through your lungs. Maximum volume of oxygen you can take through your lungs. Pump around your body using your heart and blood vessel, then make use of in your muscles. That is, how much amount of oxygen, your heart, your lungs can supply, how much amount of oxygen your body muscles are able to utilize. That is the meaning of the maximum amount of or maximum volume of oxygen. How much oxygen is utilized by your body at a time, at a particular time. Your muscles, your how much oxygen is released by the legs. All these are coming under that. So maximum volume of oxygen utilized by your body is known as a VO2 max. So and VO2 max is the formula that is expressing the cardiovascular fitness. And last paragraph, you can see the cardiovascular fitness can be assessed using number of tests, including treadmill test. That is one thing. What is treadmill self? You might have seen in if you go to some gymnasium, or sometimes if you go to hospital also, there is a belt like thing. If you stand on that belt, the belt will be moving, and it can move at any part. For example, 10 kilometer per hour or 30 kilometer per hour. And if you are walking on that belt, that will be measuring how much heart rate you are producing when you are running at 30 kilometer per hour or 20 kilometer per hour. So that is not a treadmill test. It shows you how much your heart can support. That is the meaning of that is the intention of the treadmill test. Then step up test. Step up test means climbing steps. For example, if your heart is weak and and you are asked to, for example, at this age you can climb any number of steps. There is no problem. Even if it is four-star building, you don't feel any problem. But after 40 or 50, and you are asked to climb steps, if you ask many of the teachers here, why can't you come to the third floor? Then they say it's third floor. I feel very tired. The problem is that they don't have enough energy for the step up test. So climbing steps is a physical activity that needs a lot of oxygen. Only if your body has enough capacity for holding oxygen and delivering oxygen in time, you will be able to do this proper step. You will be able to successfully complete a step up test. So if you are failing poorly in a step up test, that shows that your ability of the body to utilize oxygen is poor. That is the meaning of that. For example, you cannot hold too much time in a treadmill test. Indication is that your body doesn't have enough capacity to utilize oxygen properly. That is the ultimate meaning of that. Same is happened step then cycling. For example, you are feeling tired after 5 minutes of cycling. Another person is perfectly okay after 30 minutes of riding. Then who has a better heart efficiency? The second person itself. So it is by carrying out a lot of physical activity daily, you can improve the what you call cardiovascular fitness. So only way to improve the cardiovascular fitness is to increase your physical activity. So only by increasing your rowing test, like pedaling, that's rowing a boat. That is a rowing test. Because if you are rowing a boat, it's a physical activity that needs a lot of energy. For example, fishermen, then they have to be very physically very strong. Then only they can row the boat properly. So they, then swimming. Swimming is another physical activity that needs a lot of energy. So all these will show that if your body is physically very strong, you can very easily pass this test. Then what are the factors affecting the cardiovascular fitness that we have to see? Then we will see that also. So as you get fitter with the regular exercise, your body makes numerous adaptation that result in improved cardiovascular. For example, when you are carrying out daily physical activity, there are a lot of changes taking place in your body. These are known as adaptations in your body. We will see what are the muscles involved in respiration. Mainly, there are two types of muscles involved in respiration. One is the intercostal. Intercostal, for example, you have ribs here. Between the ribs, there is a muscle. These muscles are involved in the lifting of the contraction of the heart as well as the relaxation. For example, when you are breathing, your chest is expanding. When you are relaxing, the chest is closing. This is because of these muscles present between the ribs. Then another is the diaphragm. Between your thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity, there is a muscle here. There is a strong muscle. That muscle is known as a diaphragm. So when we are carrying out this kind of activity, physical activity, your diaphragm intercostal muscle becomes more stronger. That means and more efficient. That means it can support more faster breathing. Then another is the capillaries in your alveoli. Where is alveoli situated? It is in the lungs. You know that lungs will be at the end of the lung. There are small balloon-like structures. These are known as alveoli, and these are very small capillaries, finally ending in a balloon-like structure. There, the oxygen will be released into the blood, and the number of alveoli will be increasing. The efficiency of the alveoli will be increasing. In short, you become better able to take oxygen and exhale or remove carbon dioxide from your body. So that is a sorry. For example, when you are doing physical activity, every part of your body become more strong, more fit. So that is why the physical activity should be part of your daily activity. Whatever daily, I mean, whatever job you are going to be in future, make sure that you spend at least 30 minutes a day in some kind of physical activity. If you are not doing that, slowly your body become susceptible or become there is a possibility that you will be having many kind of cardiovascular diseases. Now, a fit, strong heart can pump more blood per beat. That is, if your heart is very strong, it can pump more amount of blood. If your heart is weak, it can pump only little blood. If the heart is pumping only little blood, what is the problem? Different organs in your body may not be getting sufficient amount of blood. That is a problem with the unfit heart. If the heart is not strong, it won't be able to pump sufficient amount of blood outside, and different parts of your body may not be able to get enough blood. So a fit, strong heart can pump more blood per beat than a smaller, less fit heart. So if your heart is strong, it can pump more blood. It makes your body stronger. So that there is some relationship between the fit heart and the amount of blood it is released. Your muscles also get fitter and stronger as a result of exercise. So exercise is a major activity that can improve the efficiency of every part of your body. The number and size of capillaries that deliver oxygen to and take carbon dioxide from your muscle can also increase. That is, there are smaller blood vessels in your body, and as you are increasing physical activity, the number of this more amount of capillaries will be developing in your body, and these capillaries can give supply more oxygen, take more carbon dioxide from different parts of the body. That is the meaning then. So if you are as you are increasing your physical activity, physical exercise, it gradually improves the number of capillaries, number of alveoli. All this will make your heart and muscles very strong. Then number and size of mitochondria. You know what is a mitochondria? It is a cell. Inside the cell there are different types of organelles. You know that. Mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. You might have studied from the lower classes also. Mitochondria is a basic base, that is inside the cell there is a nucleus. Along with the nucleus, there will be a lot of other smaller organelles, and one such organelle is known as a mitochondria. It is directly related with the energy utilization, oxygen consumption. So more amount of mitochondria in the cells means better efficiency of the body in utilizing oxygen. Then what are the benefits of cardiovascular fitness? Also, we have to see, and with that, so the cardiovascular fitness is linked to reduction in blood pressure. That's a major problem because maintaining a proper blood pressure is very difficult because we are living in a world and we have different type of food substance, and many of the food substance you are consuming can actually increase, and with many of the tensions in your life, if you don't know how to manage a tension in your life is spoiled. It can result in so many kind of problems in your daily life. So handling the tension, handling your personal stress is it should be a main concern of. If you don't know how to handle your tension and stress, you will be sharing, you will be making everyone in your family, everyone near you also unhappy. You will be cause of tension, stress for all others. So handling the tension and stress is an important thing. So what because if you're having too much tension, the only thing you can do is that engage in some kind of physical activity. Sometimes people say if you have a problem in your family, just go and walk in the road or walk in your compound for some time and come back to the home after 1 hour or 2 hours. Then most of the time you'll be relaxing because you have spent a lot of energy there, and a lot of unwanted chemicals also have been properly metabolized there, and you feel completely relaxed and you're coming back after 1 or 2 hours of walk. So maintaining the blood pressure is an important thing. And in order to maintain blood pressure, you have to have a problem, because if you are carrying out daily exercise, it has a direct relationship with blood pressure. If your physical activities are reduced, your blood pressure can increase. If the major problem with the blood pressure is that it is a silent killer, because your blood pressure is increasing, gradually that will be affecting the performance of your kidney. In the kidney, you have very smaller tubules known as renal tubules or nephrons. Nephrons you have studied, and nephron deficiency of the nephrons will be very badly affected if your blood pressure is high. So that is why if for a person with a high blood pressure, he or she may not be knowing that he has blood pressure. But only after some 60 years or 70 years, they may be reading that their kidney is not working. Then there you have to replace your kidney, or you have to get another person to donate their kidney, or you have to carry out daily dialysis. The problem is that it's a blood pressure. Then reduce the risk of developing heart disease. Heart disease means different type of heart related diseases. Then lowered incidence of diabetes. No, when your body is healthy, strong, your chance of developing diabetes decreases. And diabetes is a very actually I would call a dirty disease, because the problem with the diabetes is that it as itself diabetes not causing any won't cause you any problem, but it can affect the performance of every organ system in your body. For your respiratory system, circulatory system, muscle system, reproductive system, and excretory system, every system in your body will be affected if you have diabetes. So that is so if you don't know how to keep your diabetes under control, that itself can be a cause of problem, a lot of problem. Decrease the risk of stroke and heart. You know what is stroke and heart attack. Then lowering the resting rate of heart, lower fat mass and lower bone increase. Well, that is amount of fat in your body has to be reduced. If more amount of fat is there, that will be leading to cholesterol and increased bone mass. Then bones become more strong, because in your bone there is a cement-like thing, and that cement-like thing is formed of a powder-like material or a cement-like material. The number of particles in that determine the strength of that. And if more number of this cement-like bond, the material is present in the bond, that will increase the strength of your bond. So that is increased bone mass, improved energy level, and greater resistance to illness. That is another important attitude. That is, when you are doing daily physical activity, your immune system becomes stronger, healthy, and it is more able to defend you from various kind of diseases. You know what happened during Corona? Many people are not affected. Even if the corona is affecting everyone in the family, few individuals are remaining unaffected. Why? They may be having better resistance, or their body may already have some kind of adaptability that can resist their corona. Anyway, if your body is strong, your immune system is strong, many of the diseases cannot touch you. That is another. And benefits decline if exercise is not regular and consistent. The last sentence is that when you are doing exercise, always make sure that you do it daily. Don't do exercise. For example, 1 week I am doing exercise, then I am doing the exercise in next month 1 week. That kind of activity won't help. If you are doing exercise daily, you have to do at least 150 minutes of activity you have to conduct in every week. So that is the end of this cardiovascular fitness. We'll stop here.